Hello guys, Colonel Ninny here.
You're the navigator. Get your map out.
I'm looking at the map, but I don't see anything.
Nor can I. I can't see shit.
Oh look, wait, I can see a field. It's right next to that other one.
Yeah? What colour? Yellow, brown, green?
Well, I don't know, it's kinda looking wet.
Yeah, alright, I can see it now. But where are we?
France?
Alright boys, if you or your co-pilot did not graduate at the top of your navigation class, this is the video for you. Rule number 1 is that the weather always seems to get worse, never better. And when the weather goes to shit, your skills are tested. These 5 C-47s are off to do a cargo drop pretty close to where I'm going to be doing my transport run, so I'm going to tag along behind them. They're departing from Chevriers, and I will follow them as far as Namur in 2609. And my destination is Bierset. Now I'm not on comms with the squadron, so I'm just going to tag along at the back. Remember that the visibility out of this airplane is very limited. So there's sort of a challenge where you're trying to stay with them and yet trying to stay far enough away from them to avoid a collision. Flying in a group formation, the lead does the navigating, and in weather like this, everyone else is struggling to try and find each other and keep their distance, so they're not looking at the ground. So I strongly advise that as soon as you can get your aircraft in the formation position, that you start navigating yourself. You need to know where you are all the time, especially if you get attacked and especially if you lose sight of your group, which is quite likely. Your leader will identify what he thinks is the position of the group in relation to a ground reference. Everyone else in the group should try to confirm that he's seen the right thing. Remember, leaders make mistakes too. The leader of this group has intelligently chosen just to fly under the cloud base. There are a couple of advantages here. One is that navigation is much easier from a higher altitude. Another is that you're much more difficult to spot. And if you are attacked, you have an option of climbing up and hiding in the cloud, provided you know how to fly instruments. After flying for about 10 minutes, the first recognizable thing is this canal. And once you've found a feature, now you have to identify it on the map. Ideally, you orient the map in the direction you're going, so that what you see out the window is what you see in front of you. Once you've positively identified it on the map, you take the time with your stopwatch. Once you've done that, go back to the map to see what the next feature is that you expect to see in front of you. We expect to see the town of Namur, and there it is. So navigation is really pretty simple. You have to say, I know where I am, what's the next thing I expect to see? It's not about guesstimating where you are en route, it's about pre-planning. Ideally, we want to be able to visualize all those features that will be en route to help us navigate. There's that canal. Here's the town of Namur, and then the river following it. Zoom in on the map and see if you can find more defined features like islands or dents in the river. Look at the positions of roads, railways, and bridges. There's a large U-shaped bend in the river with the town of Huy next to it. Then look at the shape of the Meuse River at this point. That's easy to see. After that, the river is basically dead straight for 10 or 12 kilometers until the railway bridge and the town of Serang. Hey, and look at that. Just to the north is our target airfield. And now, even if my map flew out the window, I have a pretty good picture in my mind as to what the route looks like from start to finish. And from that, so do you. There's the big U-shaped bend with the town of Huy. Then there's the island, the dogleg, and the town of Serang. And once we've verified that, the airfield should be off to our left. And there are the hangars. And before you go charging off, changing direction, ask yourself, is it correct? Is everything falling into place? Is that what I want to see? Once confirmed, it's balls to the wall and get down as soon as possible. This is a hostile environment. You are a defenseless airplane. I'm going to show you now the technique for getting down in a hurry in this aircraft. We're going to descend as fast as possible at our red line speed, balls to the wall, and as soon as we get to the airfield, we're going to drop the gear, hit the flap, and land as quickly as possible. To slow down quickly, we're going to put gear and flaps down in a horizontal turn. This will stop us from going up and having to lose that altitude to come back down. You'll notice here that we're at twice the approach speed on our left base for the runway. Just going to slow down a little bit more so we can drop the gear and the flaps without ripping them off. Gear and flap are coming down together. Control the pitch. And watch that speed drop down to 80. Nice landing. Beer set is resupplied. I get 7 combat points and the war goes on. And here's that technique of putting the gear and flap down in the turn in the third person. So this non-textbook descent and approach and landing took about 3 minutes from the time we saw the airfield. Stay tuned for the next video flying in the same conditions but on a direct route from Shivers to Beerset, where there are very few identifiable landmarks. I'll show you how to do some time and distance calculations, which will help your navigation skills. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.
As always, if you've enjoyed this video, found it helpful, please like it or subscribe. Or if there's another topic you'd like me to cover, please leave a comment. Thank you guys.